Impossible ports are something that we see popping up more and more often on the Nintendo Switch, and more often than not, one company that's behind those ports is Saber Interactive. Bringing games like Crysis Remastered and The Witcher freaking 3 to Nintendo's hybrid console isn't an easy feat at all, but time and time again, Saber Interactive has managed to be up to the task. With their latest game though, I wasn't quite sure how they would pull it off, that game being of course World War Z. As someone who played the game originally on the Xbox One, this is a huge zombie game with literally hundreds of zombies on screen at one time due to the swarm engine used in the game, and I just wasn't sure how that would translate to the Nintendo Switch. Now, the people behind World War Z reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out the game in a sponsored video, and of course I said, hell yeah. Of course, first off, secure the bag, but second off, I was definitely very interested to see how this game would translate to running on the Nintendo Switch natively. So that's what we're going to talk about today's video. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to like and share the video as well. But without any further ado, let's jump into World War Z for the Nintendo Switch and see how this game performs. So the story of World War Z is somewhat based on the theme from the film of the same name that released back in 2013. The basis of the game is that there's a massive zombie outbreak worldwide, and you and a group of 3 other survivors must make their way through different areas in order to escape and, of course, stay alive. You visit 4 different cities across the world: New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, and Japan. One thing I really liked about the game is that the stories for these areas are very self-contained, meaning that the characters from the New York mission are different from the characters featured in the Japan mission, so on and so forth. So you see different sides of how people are combating the outbreaks based on the regions they are in, instead of just miraculously appearing in these areas after completing one of them. Now, I will say the story of the game isn't really all that super deep, basically just survive, but you do meet different characters along the way in each of the individual scenarios. And by playing missions with each of the different characters, you can unlock some additional information on them via a backstory video. So if you want a little bit more out of the story from the game and more information on the individual characters and why they're doing what they're doing, you can find it in this game. It's a nice touch, honestly. It doesn't try to be too overbearing and cliche with the story, but it's there if you want a little bit more. Now, obviously the main draw to a game like this is the gameplay, and honestly, there's a ton of different ways to play this game. The main thing is of course the campaign mode, in which you go through and complete the missions. There are several different missions inside of each campaign, so for instance New York has 4 different missions in that campaign. The gameplay is a behind-the-back third-person shooter in which you have a variety of guns at your disposal, and you must keep yourself and your teammates alive till the very end. You can play by yourself with no internet connection required with 3 AI bots who are pretty decent teammates, or you can team up with 3 other people to do these missions online, which is the more attractive option to me and will probably be to most people. You can either play with random people in a public match or with friends in a private match. You can invite people into your game as well, and honestly it's done very simply with an in-game menu, so you basically just click who you want to invite into your game, and next thing you know, you and your friends will be up and running in no time, taking down these hordes of zombies. On the battlefield, you have different sorts of things happen. One of the main things that happens within these missions is a horde rush, which is a rush of literally hundreds of zombies that will come and attack you, and you essentially have to defend an area from them all. You can find different things on the map to impede their progress, such as barbed wire, electric floor stompers, and unmanned gun turrets to try and slow down these waves of enemies. There's also collecting missions in the game as well, in which you have to bring a certain number of items back to a base in order to progress. It's nothing super unique or anything like that, but in the heat of the moment it can be very fun. Whenever you complete a mission, you get a readout of how you did along with points. Now these points can be used to upgrade your character via a skill tree that unlocks with things like faster reloading, better starting weapons, and much more. There are a ton of different skill trees based on different playstyles as well, so the incentive to keep playing to unlock more and more stuff in these trees is honestly very high. You can also use these points to unlock different guns, so when you are playing a mission and find, let's say, an assault rifle on the battlefield, when you pick it up, it'll be the one that you unlocked, giving you a bit of a boost on the battlefield. I actually really like this system because it keeps making you want to play more and more, and each mission has different difficulties in which the higher the difficulty, the larger the reward is as well. Beyond the co-op campaign mode, there's also a challenge mode in which you can unlock different cosmetic choices for all of the characters as well when you accrue a certain number of points in that gameplay type. It's basically just going through the same different missions as you played before with different parameters set up, but if you complete it, you get those points. And then there's the multiplayer. Beyond the online campaign stuff that you can play online or offline, there are dedicated online player versus player game modes as well, and honestly, these are super fun. Take the Team Deathmatch for instance. Now, you would think it's a standard TDM affair, right? Well, it kind of is, except for the fact that there are zombies on the map trying to kill you and other players in the game, which honestly adds a whole new layer of strategy to a common game mode that we have been playing for years and years. I absolutely love the online modes in this game as they're really unique and they all have their own sort of flair to them, such as one where somebody grabs a vaccine and has to hold it as long as possible without dying to win the game, and so many more different types. The online game modes have ran extremely smooth for me as well, and that also goes the same for the campaign online too, which is pretty impressive considering the Nintendo Switch usually isn't known for its quality of online games. But of course, we have to talk about the graphics of the game because like I said, I played this game originally on the Xbox One, so I sort of knew what I was getting into, and when I played that game on the Xbox One, I was like, I don't think this would quite work on the Nintendo Switch. But upon booting up and playing the game, I think Saber Interactive really nailed this port in terms of performance, especially considering that this is running natively on the Nintendo Switch. The environments themselves all look nice and differentiate from one another, with clean atmospheres and very nice textures. Character models of all the characters look good too, with little intricacies that you could see on their body. And they somehow managed to maintain having an insane amount of zombies on screen at once, including the big horde piles at the base of a structure, which is just absolutely insane to see running on the Switch. Zombie arms, legs, torsos all go flying when you attack them and defend yourself from all different angles, and it's just an insane experience. While it might not look as good as it did on my Xbox One S, it's a super impressive version of the game, and it even manages to maintain a smooth frame rate about 99% of the time, with a very mild dip here and there. Handheld mode is also super crisp as well, which should really come as no surprise to anyone since The Witcher 3 arguably looked better in handheld mode than it did in docked mode on the Switch. But I definitely think that both the handheld and the docked mode managed to hold their own in a massive way in this version of the game. Now, although this is a sponsored video, as with any sponsored video on the channel, if I do notice something about the game, I will talk about it, and I do want to mention two things very briefly with World War Z. First off, the loading times can be a bit long when you're first getting into a mission. Now, once you're in that mission, there are no loading times until the end of it, so I'm assuming that's why it takes a while, but if there was a way to slim that down just a little bit in a patch or something, I think that would be pretty cool. And graphically, the main difference between the Nintendo Switch version of the game and other versions of the game is the fact that there won't be as many dead zombies on the map, and they tend to disappear a lot faster than they did in the Xbox version of the game. Once again, it's not a big deal because it's probably the way to keep the performance of the game very high, but I did feel just like mentioning it very briefly. World War Z is $39.99 on the Nintendo Switch, both physically and digitally, but if you're a digital player, you have another option. You can pick up the World War Z Deluxe Edition, which has 28 unique bonus items including special character outfits and different weapons. That's available digitally for $49.99. Now, the fact that Saber Interactive managed to fit this entire game on a Nintendo Switch cartridge is honestly pretty mind-blowing, but this is a company that obviously knows what they're doing. Now, of course, there's a ton of content here to explore in the game, and guess what? If you want even more content, it's coming. The Horde Mode Z game mode and the Marseille Story Missions episodes are coming to the Nintendo Switch as free post-launch DLC very soon, meaning that you're getting even more content out of this game. Now, considering that online zombie shooters in this style is definitely a genre that, well, doesn't really exist on the Nintendo Switch, I think this is a damn good game to pick up for your collection and to play online with your friends or just play by yourself with the AI bots. The constant desire to unlock new stuff and really better stuff to replay the missions again and again is extremely high in this game, and the multiplayer player versus player game modes are super fun as well, and really it's just a very highly polished game for the Nintendo Switch from top to bottom. Hell, I'm even snagging a physical edition of this game just because of how good it runs and performs, and well, I kinda want it in my collection. As a man who has played a ton of Nintendo Switch ports, which you are all well aware of, World War Z is right up there with games like The Witcher 3 and Alien Isolation in terms of pushing the Nintendo Switch to its limits with, honestly, extremely positive results. So this is something new I'm trying for dedicated game videos. If you like it, let me know. If not, let me know as well. But basically I figured it'd be fun to like record some footage live of me playing the game and then just kind of going over things that maybe I might have missed in my script to sort of give you guys an indication of, you know, what the game is about. So as you can see here, we're in the middle of a mission. Right now we're in one of the parts where we have to capture stuff. We're basically getting car parts so that we can get out of this area. Now I'm guessing because we have 7 car parts to find, as you can see above my face, that means we're playing on a bit of a higher difficulty, because when I played this last online it was only 5 parts, but that might be indicative of how many people were playing, because I believe I was just playing with one other human being, and right now I'm playing with 2 human beings. But you can see like this game just it runs really well, and you wouldn't think that a game that has so much stuff going on would look and run this good, but it's seriously incredible. And like even these little, you know, capture missions, people are like, oh, I don't like capture missions, and there's some escort missions too, but they're done in a manner where it's like you don't have to go like super far in order to do the capture or find the object. I have no idea how to get into this. Oh my god. So these are the bulls. They're the big boys. They'll just like run after you and take you out. We got somebody down. All right, I got him. So these are my teammates here. It's a very frantic game, but it's a game that can be a lot of fun, especially playing it online with some friends, because I think that's where the game really shines, is in the competitive or the co-op aspect, where you're playing with people you know, just going through completing missions. I don't know why I just threw that grenade. I don't know how to get in here, and I would really like it if someone would explain how in the heck you get in there. Okay, here's some car parts here though, so we're good. So we'll take these car parts to the gentleman who is trying to fix the car, and we also have to protect him because he's getting smoked right now by some zombies. As he imagine just being like out here in the middle of nowhere in Jerusalem, having to make a car and get out of here because there's a huge zombie infestation that's coming for you. And here you can see like the different weapons you can pick up. So like I could pick up this assault carbine, and if I had it via the skill system where I had an upgraded assault carbine, then I could use that to basically do whatever. Can I go up this ladder here? No. I don't know how to get over there. There's an interact button though, somewhere. That's interesting. So now this is gonna bother me like forever because I want to know how to get this. And I guess we're going to have to figure this out as, oh God, get off her. See, like cool stuff like that just happens and pops up out of nowhere, and you're always on your toes, you're always having to think, and you're always having to, essentially figure out things about how to go about this mission, how to keep everyone alive, how to stay alive, whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you are staying alive, you're staying alive. Staying alive. Oh, and this is something I didn't mention in the video, is the heavy weapons that you could pick up on the map. So like I got this chainsaw now, which is only something that you can pick up on the map when you find it. So this is pretty cool because of the fact that it's a chainsaw in a zombie game. There's things like flamethrowers. I showed the flamethrower off in the video as well, but I like the chainsaw a lot. There's like a machine gun that's mounted, and I feel like we're gonna be here forever because I don't think any of us can figure out how to get to this area, because like there's got to be something. Is there a oh my God, there we see look at this, let's go. And this is why I like to do things live as well because we get this little moment of excitement where we figured out the mystery. Oh, these dudes, when you kill them, they throw out like this poisonous gas, but if you don't kill them, they'll try to kill you. So that's a bit of a problem too. But yeah, so this is my video on World War Z. If you like this little sort of just live playthrough section of the video, let me know in the comments down below. If you don't, like, that's cool too. Let me know about that. But awesome game, really fun game. Huge shout outs to Saber Interactive for sponsoring this video. You really didn't have to because this was a game I was going to play anyways. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like and share the video as well. We've got to avoid these zombies. Later.